Hello and welcome to Your Health Reclaimed with DrPND, where we help you reclaim your health with tips, tools, and resources to live your most optimal and vibrant life. Here's your host, DrPND.
Hello and welcome to Your Health Reclaimed. This is your host, DrPND. And on today's episode, we're going to talk about a very popular topic, which one that is also very easily misunderstood and malpracticed, and it's called the proper way to detoxification. So today's topic is going to be detoxification and how to support this natural, very vital process of our bodies. So in a nutshell, detoxification basically is an ongoing process that is performed by multiple organs in our bodies, and it's not a sporadic event that is triggered by basically special, diets and supplements and protocols and lifestyle methods. It's not. So that's something that I really want to make clear. It's a problem that a lot of people confuse. A lot of people misunderstand. People believe that they have to actually trigger that process themselves. They're responsible for it, and it's not something that just happens naturally. And that's why a lot of those extreme detox protocols can really be counterproductive. Some of it can be right down potentially harmful for people's health. It can do a lot of damage to their metabolism. Immediate acute problems can be caused by severe detoxification and purgatory-based plans. So what I'm really going to try to drill home is that our bodies do not need restrictive diets and plans and protocols and starvation to detoxify. If anything, they require optimal, sufficient energy and nutrients. The previous podcast, we focused on micronutrient deficiencies, and we're going to indirectly piggyback on that information, how important whole food, nutrient-dense, clean diet is for clean foods are for our health, and in this case, including detoxification. So everybody knows that our livers are the primary detoxification organ. That's true. They do require adequate protein, energy, nutrients to truly function optimally. They're an organ. It's an extremely metabolically active organ. So chronic undereating, for instance, will impair liver function long-term and short-term, and by default will impair overall detoxification processes. Supporting our detoxification involves, honestly, a holistic approach, and that is eating enough, regular movement, high-quality sleep, ensuring daily bowel movements are optimized, and of course managing stress and just rather relying on quick fix solutions, of lifestyle drastic changes and different detox and cleansing and purgatory products. So another thing is that our lymph system also plays a crucial role in detoxification by transporting waste and maintaining fluid balance. Supporting lymph flow, especially through proper exercise, is a must. Obviously, massage and maintaining gut health, those two things are very important as well, and they can also contribute to that. But lymphatic system there's not a pump. The lymph does not have a pump like the circulatory system does. So it is very dependent on our movement. That's why daily walking and constant moving and healthy proper exercise is so vital for the detoxification process. But let's go ahead and go on and unpack this topic today that I really want to, try to explain and really hopefully drill the message for you guys home of what proper detoxification is and what isn't. So, all of you guys have seen in recent years, and I've been in this industry for a very long time. I've known about and seen these protocols at least for over 25 years, and colleagues that are my colleagues that are a lot older than I am, they have seen this even before then. But in recent years, the last 10, 15 years especially, the concept of detoxing and cleansing has really gained immense popularity with literally limitless protocols, diets, supplements, promising everything to purge your body, cleanse it, detoxify it, of harmful toxins, so you can be able to see better, think clearer, ultimately change your life forever. It doesn't work like that. The reality of detoxification, unfortunately, is far more complex and nuisance than just many of those, quick fixes and, short-term, intense programs, protocols that people get involved in, really will have you believe. It doesn't work like that. So, my goal is to be able to, explore really the truth about detoxification and how, our bodies really naturally detoxify and, use this, vital function. So the best way to support your body's innate detoxification processes are pretty simple. And you'll see, exactly why here in a little bit. So let's kind of try to understand a basic detoxification process. Uh, so it's a crucial bodily function process that obviously involves removing, toxic substances from our bodies. It's a vital function. We cannot live without it. And there's the accumulation of toxins, especially nowadays from our society, that we live in, with, artificial chemicals and which are everywhere in our food, our water, our homes, our, air, care products, personal care products, and you name it, they're all there. So it's an ongoing process, that has to be taken care of. We have pesticides, herbicides, fungicides, plastics, heavy metals, different air pollutants, and all of these can and will lead to ultimately mitochondrial dysfunction, which will lead to some kind of chronic disease eventually. So, contrary to popular belief, detoxification is really not a sporadic event that needs to be triggered again and started and maintained by, protocols and programs, things like, different cleanses with herbs and fasting and so forth. Instead, it's really an ongoing process that our bodies perform continuously to maintain health and survival. And we don't even know they're doing it, but they're doing it literally every single second of, as we live. This complex system will involve multiple organs working in harmony, obviously, so including, a liver and kidneys and digestive tract, our skin, our lungs, lymphatic system. They all work in concert with each other, to bring about this, ultimate natural, healthy process of detoxification. So a lot of the, the marketing that, surrounds all those, cleanse and detox fads often preys on people's vulnerability, honestly, especially when they're desperate for health changes quickly. Okay. That's why I see, intermittent fasting. That was like the latest and the greatest fad for a few years now. Luckily, he's blown his proverbial nut now, and it's kind of, gone away. I've seen, the water fast, the juice fasts, the prolonged water fasts, like things like extreme stupidity, like people fasting for like 2-3 months straight, but nothing literally but water, and doing great damage to their metabolisms and systems in general. So many approaches detoxification with a quick fix mindset, hoping that detox or cleanse will provide a rapid, relief and, results. But unfortunately, these approaches often will backfire, leading people to just, up and down temporary relief of a symptom, or something that they might think they would have addressed, perhaps they really didn't. And it's literally almost like a yo-yo dieting restriction binge cycles. And I see this all the time. They might feel better, they might feel great during a fast, for example, whether an intermittent fast or a whole day or a few day, a week fast. They really literally might feel very, very well. And the minute the fast is over, they just go to town. They just can't stop eating. They go right back to their, old way of life and eating, garbage. Oftentimes, if they are toxic and they really, depending on what kind of toxins they're holding in their body and other, obviously, issues they have, but a lot of times they can go into a very nasty detox response that they get really sick, vomit and, sweating and having, loose stools and just feeling miserable, migraine, headaches, you name it. And that too is actually potentially very dangerous and most certainly can harm their bodies because you're doing a massive influx of toxin release that the body truly cannot detoxify properly because it cannot remove it fast enough. So yeah, you might be, putting your liver in overtime and cannot compensate, and those toxins don't really get, the proper metabolism that they need to be cleared out of the body. So people have gotten hurt with those, kind of severe detoxes and cleanses. Some people, they might lose weight very rapidly. Most of it is water during a detox, but it's almost always they'll regain it back once the detox stops. So, there's a lot of pitfalls of those extreme detox plans and so forth. At the very least, something like intermittent fasting or doing a juice or water fast for a day or half a day or a couple of days, they'll not get anything out of it. There's really no long-term lasting benefit, even if they don't get a purgatory response and some kind of negative reaction. They ultimately, there's very little to no benefit. There's definitely no long-term benefit to those extreme, detox plans and cleanses that they do. So um, many popular detox plans now do require drastic lifestyle changes that honestly can be really detrimental to people's health. These plans are often, highly restrictive, very highly restrictive. Some of them, especially if they do like a, multi-day water fast, they significantly reduce, if not completely eliminate, caloric intake. Like I said, chronic undereating will have a negative consequence, on people's health, including the liver, which is really the primary and most important detoxification organ in the body. So just there's a lot of negative pitfalls to those plans. Also, those extreme diets protocols can be counterproductive to the goal of just overall improved detoxification. One of those, lower metabolic rate, often is a result of severe caloric restriction for a long period of time. Many reduce the body's ability to efficiently perform the detoxification processes themselves due to just decreased energy availability. A lot of people don't understand the fact that proper detoxification needs optimal mitochondrial energy production and utilization, and they'll sequester that with those severe protocols. Also, it's crucial to understand that our bodies do need a special restrictive, do not need a special restrictive diets to detoxify themselves. The best way to keep detoxification functioning properly is honestly to produce sufficient metabolic energy, meaning that you give your organs enough fuel to do their job effectively, and at the same time do not interfere with their processes. So it's really a simple concept. And I'm going to go over that. I'm going to go over that in a little bit more detail to see, hopefully, make you guys understand. Let me kind of focus on the key detoxification organs. Okay, that people, I'm not going to go into detail or anything like that, but I just want to mention them so you guys understand. Well, the first one is the liver, obviously. That's, people call the detoxification, main organ, the powerhouse of detoxification. It is, people can argue with that. Again, get to the bottom line. We don't really care about intricacies and, squabbles of severe details, but some consider it to be the, primary pinnacle detoxification organ. Some people consider it to be obviously a very important or big part of it. It doesn't matter. Who cares? Just the bottom line is this is a very, very important detoxification organ, and it's for good reason. It performs over 500 tasks that we know of, literally. With actual detoxification just being one of its many crucial functions. It cannot live without a liver. Everybody knows that. So it does a lot of stuff. Okay, a lot. Again, I'm not going to go into that, but the liver processes toxins ultimately. In case of detoxification, it processes organs by breaking them down into less harmful substances that can be excreted, through our urine and bile. This process occurs through two phases, what are known as phase 1 and phase 2 detoxification pathways. And both of those pathways require energy to convert those toxins into water-soluble forms that can be ultimately eliminated out of the body, through the GI. So to perform all these tasks, our livers do require healthy, high-quality proteins, energy, and micronutrients. So first is, let's look at protein. The detoxification process will rely very heavily on certain enzymes. Well, these enzymes are made out of amino acids which come from protein. Okay, so eating high quality animal protein is very important, since these are complete protein sources that provide all the essential amino acids that your body and ultimately your liver will ever need. Some people argue, well, you can do that with plant proteins. Well, that's not my experience, and that's not my opinion. Plant proteins often don't provide the complete amino acid profile necessary for optimal liver function. I mean, you look at a full-blown vegan and most vegetarians, I mean, they look like the Walking Dead, no offense, but, they don't look the ultimate picture of health and vibrancy. So, but that's another story. So anyway, toxins must be conjugated, okay, with amino acids to be carried out of the body. Without adequate complete protein sources, detoxification can be hindered, and ultimately it will eventually. So the other thing that is required for the liver to properly do its function is energy and micronutrients. Yeah, so the liver is made up of cells like every organ is, and every cell requires energy and nutrients to function properly. Just simple as that. The second phase, especially of the liver detoxification, is very heavily nutrient dependent. It requires energy, amino acids, vitamins, minerals of different kinds. And the more toxic you are, the more and the higher those requirements are. Now, for instance, everybody knows that alcoholics are thiamine deficient. They're just a staple. You're not going to ever find a full-blown alcoholic who's not going to be having some kind of form of thiamine or B1 deficiency, not to mention magnesium and B complexes in general, among other things. But even conventional medicine recognizes the need for thiamine. So the liver especially needs glucose and energy to perform proper detoxification. So low levels of stored glucose, or the stored form of glucose glycogen, this will encounter a sluggish liver by default. It just doesn't have the energy to do its job. When the liver doesn't detoxify well, hormones such as estrogen can build up and accumulate, leading to estrogen dominance and other issues. So the liver requires glucose also to convert, inactive hormones of T4 to the active form of T3, for instance, which all cells require the active form of T3 to produce energy. Without adequate T3, you will have decreased cellular function and resulting in a slower metabolism, which you see with people that are hypothyroidism. So eating enough food, healthy food, whole, nutrient-dense foods, for your body's needs is crucial for proper liver health, and in this case, detoxification process. So when people are, consistently and chronically underfed and not consuming enough energy from their diets, like with those extreme fasts and stuff like that, the liver can really, lose optimal function. And actually chronically done with, caloric restrictions, severe chronic caloric restrictions, you actually see a shrinkage in liver size. And by default, the function as well will decrease drastically. So, there's a lot of, people have proved that. Science has proved that. To my knowledge, there's at least a couple of studies, but a good one is the Minnesota starvation experiment. Just look it up. Just Google Minnesota starvation experiment. You'll see what I'm talking about. And what happens when you chronically undereat. So anyway, that's for the liver, kind of give you an idea why we need energy and nutrients, micronutrients, and protein. The second organ, obviously everybody knows, is the renal function, kidneys. They obviously filter out waste. They play a crucial role in detoxification by filtering out the blood to remove waste products and excess substances, including toxins and metabolic byproducts. And and ask anybody who's in full-blown dialysis, and they'll tell you exactly why they have to do dialysis, and what those dialysis machines actually do. So the kidneys will produce urine to excrete the waste from the body. Like the liver, they also require energy to function properly and optimally. However, one dietary factor to consider for optimal kidney health is, honestly, in our industries, is called calcium to phosphorus ratio. Okay, an imbalanced calcium to phosphorus ratio can negatively impact kidney health by increasing the rates of calcification. You always want a good ratio is 1 to 2.5. 1 to 2, it all depends kind of who you listen to, but you can easily look at your calcium to phosphorus ratio with just a regular CBC and CMP blood panel. You might have to request phosphorus to some of them, but all you gotta do is look at your calcium and look at phosphorus and divide those two, and you'll see. Look at your ratio and see how honestly alkaline or acidic you are. Very simple way to find out. Anyway, our modern food supply and the processed food that people eat ultimately and overconsume by default is very high phosphorus, so that by default will overconsume phosphorus. So some of the most processed foods contain extremely high phosphorus contents and additives as well, which a lot of it comes from actually those additives. So that's something, again, a big reason why we need to stop eating processed foods. Please understand, now there's the whole sensitivity debate of, well, processed food can be technically anything that somebody made. That's not the case. We're not talking about that. We're talking about foods having processed by chemical processes. So a lot of people, people that are really staunchest for accuracy, they call it ultra processed foods. It's just any processed food. Okay, just get over the little, again, stupid intricacies that people get caught into. And when I say processed food, it's the same as ultra processed food. There's really no difference. Okay, Oreo cookies, the Oreo cookie, laid potato chips is like potato chips is processed food, ultra processed food, whatever, makes no difference. So just processed foods, again, another reason why they have to be taken out. Just easy way to support kidney health. And it's really very crucial to ensure that we have adequate and balanced calcium with phosphorus intake. That's why actually people that are not sensitive or allergic to dairy, if they have access to high quality dairy products, is very well good way to do that. Well cooked leafy greens like collard greens. Okay, this is a really good way to really eat balance the phosphorus to calcium ratio. And that will help you maintain a balanced calcium to phosphorus ratio for optimal kidney function. Basically, any healthy natural foods. That's why just in general, a lot of vegetables, leafy green or just green alkalizing vegetables are very healthy for proper renal function. People get caught into the certain nightshade families or the oxalates. I'm not going to go there. That's a byproduct again of people eating processed foods and having poor lifestyles and blaming something. They get hyper focused on something and they go with it. Okay, it's not the oxalates. It's not the nightshade family has problems. It's your crappy diet. Okay, let's get real and let's understand that. Okay, when you address that, I can promise you nothing will happen when you eat nightshade family. If obviously you're allergic to it or have severe sensitivity to it, that's a different story. But most people do not. Okay. So I know I get questions about, well, do oxalates really make a difference? If you have a healthy, truly optimal, proper diet and a properly healthy functioning body, no, there will not be a problem. Okay. But I digress. So let's go stay on track here. The third organ is, the functioning of the lungs. Proper functioning of the lungs is obviously essential, and you're breathing out toxins. They do detoxify. So, remaining, active, well hydrated, and also primarily breathing through your nose and not being a chronic mouth breather is an excellent strategies to really enhance lung function and additionally support the whole overall body detoxification process. The skin, that's the largest organ in the body. Obviously, sweating. Nobody is going to deny that. Healthy sweating is extremely healthy for you on many different levels. That's why saunas are very popular. Obviously, exercise, and through the sweat, the body excretes toxins very, very efficiently. Okay. Detoxification is, again, this is a big process to the skin and elimination. So actually, particularly is very effective for certain heavy metals and other fat-soluble toxins that can be difficult for the body to eliminate through other means. So, For instance, if somebody gets ingest glyphosate or Roundup, the active ingredient of Roundup, you can see that in their sweat within literally minutes of that. And sweating is a very efficient way to actually clean, detoxify glyphosate out of your body. That's just FYI. Number 5 would be the digestive tract, right? That's like extremely important. When the liver does its function and dumps it into the digestive tract, and the digestive tract has to be functioning properly to be able to eliminate the toxins. So that's why the GI plays a very crucial role in the detoxification process by eliminating waste products from food and other substances. It also is a barrier, which means that prevents toxins from being absorbed into your bloodstream. Okay. The liver will filter toxins from the blood, and again, once processed, will deposit these toxins into the bile. The bile then travels through your bile duct and is eliminated through the bowel movements. So, again, another reason why having healthy daily bowel movements and a healthy functioning GI is absolutely essential for optimal health. Okay. Constipation is a horrible sign on many different levels. So if you have a bad chronic constipation, you're building toxins in your GI and your whole body, and just it's also a sign that overall detoxification process of your body is really not functioning well at all. So if you have a chronic chronic constipation, you can rest assured that your detoxification of your whole body is impaired to some degree or another. A lot of people think that, well, having a bowel movement every 2 or 3 days is ideal. It's not. Absolutely, it's not ideal. Not even close. You don't have to have a bowel movement 2, 3, 4 times a day, but having one good bowel movement a day, it is extremely important. You might have a day or two that you might skip it, depending on stress or something happens or didn't eat. Not a problem, but ultimately the following day you should be able to make that up, and you're going to see the volume actually of the bowel increase. So you really have to be careful what you read and what you believe, because there's a far cry from okay and acceptable and what is really truly optimal. So the other one we're going to talk about, track of detoxification, is the lymphatic system. That's kind of like the sort of the ignored and misunderstood system of the body. But the lymphatic system, it consists obviously of lymph vessels, lymph nodes, and lymphatic organs that plays a crucial role in detoxification by transporting and draining excess fluid and proteins and other things that clears, the clearance of metabolic waste and toxins out of your body. So even though the liver is the primary responsibility for the detoxification through metabolic processes, the lymphatic system actually supports detoxification indirectly by maintaining fluid balance, transporting immune cells and waste, and aiding in the absorption of fat and fat-soluble vitamins. So their integrated function of the liver and the lymphatic system helps maintain the body's internal environment and eliminates harmful substances that obviously, could otherwise accumulate and cause damage in your body. Lymphatic circulation also does involve intrinsic and extrinsic mechanisms to ensure the movement of lymph throughout the body. So they can act, primarily like pumps when actively transporting lymph against the pressure gradient. So they also can act as a conduit vessel that, when passively transporting lymph down to a pressure gradient, what's called. So intrinsic mechanism, basically inside the lymph vessel, things like muscle squeezing. So lymphatic vessels have muscles in their walls that contract and relax, pushing the lymph forward, similar to how our intestines move, our food. They also have valves. One way valves inside the lymphatic vessels ensures that once lymph moves into one direction, it can go backflow in the other, return in the other direction, keeping everything on track. The endothelial cells, they can shrink or expand, helping to push lymph along tissues, then they swell or become inflamed. Some of the extrinsic factors, people, like meaning that outside the lymph vessels is, the muscle pump, which when we move our muscles during exercise or even just walking, it's, squeezes nearby lymphatic vessels and ultimately causing, like a pumping action. It helps, push the lymph fluid along. That's why exercise is extremely important for proper lymphatic function. Walking, that is why another reason why walking is extremely a healthy part of an exercise protocol, and that can be done on a daily basis. Even though it's a very low intensity, still has a lot of function. Trampoline bouncing, that's also has been known, and it's a fact that it's very efficient way to really move the lymph system and get it working, and help with detoxification. Breathing, that's another one. When you breathe in and out, it affects pressure in our chest, which also helps to move lymph, the lymph towards the heart, and that too, again, is part of why exercise is so effective, especially when engaging in, higher intensity exercise that causes, higher rate of quality and quantity of breathing. External pressure, obviously, everybody knows things like massage. That's why dry brushing, lymph massages, any massage really, makes a big difference and can really move things along. That's why if you ever ask a massage therapist, they'll tell you sometimes when they do massage, people can get nauseated and they'll get sick either a little after she gets, or the person gets started, or after the massage. And that's why I always tell you, drink a lot of water after a massage, because they move toxins. If somebody's very toxic, and depending on what kind of toxins they have, not just how much, with a massage things can get moving in the lymph system and cause an overflow and overload of toxins, and the person get nauseated, they're sick. I have seen that happen. So again, the lymph system is passive, but there's a lot of ways they can be moved around. So another good reason to drink a lot of water, exercise properly, and sweat. The last organ that a lot of people, and it's not by any means not the least important, but the last organ that people would even think about anything regarding detoxification is actually our brains. And these are very overlooked about detoxification, but the brain does play a crucial role in this process. What it does is clear cellular waste and fluids through the glymphatic system. There's with a Glymphatic, glymphatic system, which is drastically upregulated during sleep. Well, guess what? That's why a big reason, among many others, sleep is so important. So it's not just the quality, but also the quantity of sleep, which makes a difference. Again, prioritizing good sleeping habits an absolute must. So sleep is not just about rest and recuperation. It's actually an active time for the brain to perform essential detoxification processes. Okay, so let's go ahead and go real quick into the holistic, natural approach of detoxification. Given the complexities and the interconnected nature of the body's detox systems, it's obviously clear that there are no shortcuts or quick fixes. I hope you guys understand that. So when it comes to detoxing, okay, there's no shortcuts. Instead, the best way to support our bodies in this natural process is to really focus on overall health and well-being. And literally here are the key factors to prioritize. Eat enough, eat healthy, high nutrient dense, wholesome foods. Okay. There are many organs that are listed that are involved in detoxification. All of them require proper nutrition and energy. It's just a fact of life. Okay. Include a variety of protein sources, but especially complete proteins from healthy raised animal sources to provide the essential amino acids for detoxification and the enzymatic functions that are needed. Okay, don't shy away from carbohydrates. Healthy quality carbohydrates are extremely important because, again, they'll break down to glucose, and that is the essential energy source for detoxification processes, especially the liver. So healthy carbohydrates are going to be obviously your sweet potatoes, your yams, your potatoes, organic, steamed rice, can be white rice, actually, preferably. It's a lot easier to digest. So, gluten-free grains that are obviously organic, they're not sprayed, like oatmeal. Just all those are great sources of reliable, stable energy, for the liver and the other organs to do their job, but providing the proper energy. Number two, again, movement and sweat. Regular physical activity will support detoxification every single time. If you have the luxury of having a sauna, especially right after you finish exercising, that just compounds the benefit of exercise. Sweating. So it's going to take care of the lymphatic system, and it's going to take care of the other detox pathways that we discussed. Number three, prioritize sleep. Sleep, I can do a 2-day seminar on sleep. It is extremely important, and we as a nation have a severe sleep problem. Okay, chronic insomnia and chronic undersleeping is a big problem. A lot of people think because they sleep, they're okay. Actually, they're not. They're obviously better than people that have insomnia, but a lot of people, they even though they actually fall asleep and stay asleep, do not truly sleep properly and restful. And a big reason for that is, the obesity epidemic, the suboptimal metabolic health. I mean, sleep apnea is huge. CPAP machines are becoming like the norm. I mean, people literally brag about it and joke about it, and it's like almost like if I get over a certain age and it's normal. I mean, I have athletes literally, fit people that are powerful, strong, fit on sleep apnea, with sleep apnea on CPAP machines, thinking that's normal. It's not. You're causing severe damage. Obviously, it's a lot better not having the CPAP machine, don't get me wrong, but still, the fact that you cannot sleep naturally yourself is a big problem. People also, due to fear, chronic anxiety, depression, living in a fight or flight mode all the time, that'll destroy sleep like nothing else will. And a lot of folks live with subliminal chronic fear and anxiety, in society, which will affect sleep every time. So try to address that. Okay. Number 4, ensure regular bowel movement. That's kind of a loaded statement, but it does have a lot to do with sleep. When you sleep good, you're going to go to the bathroom good. Constipation is actually, from a holistic standpoint, is a big problem. And it's caused a lot of it due to stress and primarily low-grade fear. Okay. I'm not going to go into that, but you can read about it. There's a naturopathic doctor. His name is Dr. David Sandstrom. He wrote a book. He talks about how fear really affects proper bowel movement. And a lot of people that are stressed, they're really fearful as well. So try to address bowel movements. There's a lot you can do to support it. Again, like we talked about, support the lymphatic system. Activities that support lymph flow, and that is massage, dry brushing, trampoline, and of course, walking, exercising, sauna. All those things will make it happen. But when you're doing all those things, the other half of the equation has to be addressed, and that is eliminate the toxins in the first place. Now, look, you can't live in a bubble. I get that. None of us can. Will. And even if I could, I wouldn't, because you'll be separated from society, obviously. So with that being said, limit. I didn't say eliminate completely, but limit to whatever possible scenario you can in your personal life. Limit your toxic exposure. Things like alcohol. I did a whole podcast on that. Obviously, drugs, over-the-counter, prescription drugs, opiates, you name it, whatever it might be. That's obvious. But a lot of the toxicity that people really have comes from the food that they eat, from the personal hygiene products that they use. And really, a lot of it's from their environment. So investigate those sources and eliminate what you can, and severely limit what you can't eliminate. But ultimately, reduce your toxic exposure. Last one, again, manage stress, which is going to affect really all of those, including your bowel movements, as we talked about. Chronic stress can kill you faster than, honestly, a lot of other things can. And it will impair, without fail, numerous various bodily functions. And not the very least, this is going to be your detoxification process. So chronic stress, it really does number to the body on many, many different levels. Everybody knows that if you ever ask an emergency room physician, they're going to give you, depending on the person, the experience, but a pretty good number, 60, 70, 80% of people that walk into the emergency room is because of some kind of chronic stress trigger. Whether it'll be a heart attack, whether there'll be a panic attack, feeling like they're suffocating, they can't breathe, pain, stiffness, locked jaw, TMJ, never, it's a lot of it stress related, either directly or indirectly. So by focusing on these, fundamentals, you will create an environment in which your body's natural detoxification processes will flourish, and you'll be really constantly engage optimal function of the detox process. You don't have to go on ridiculous protocols and diets and programs and severely restricted caloric aspects, let alone things like juice and water fasting for long periods of time. People always ask me what do you think about intermittent fasting. I don't. Look, if you're gonna fast for a religious reason, for something faith-based, if there's any other circumstances that whatever job you do, you just have to fast. For example, you can't really have breakfast in the morning for whatever reason, and you're used to eating within a 8-10 hour window, not a problem. That's your life. But if you're doing this on purpose, it's certainly it's not going to really serve you the best. I get a lot from people say, well, I really feel good while I'm doing it. Yes, you do, because you're really, not triggering the problems that you already have, especially you have digestive issues. So of course you're going to feel good because you're given a rest. But that'll be the same as you breaking your leg and resting it, and of course you're going to feel good when you're resting it. But as soon as you start walking your leg, you have a fracture or some kind of break. You're gonna start having pain. You're gonna start, having issues, and you have to fix that. And same thing here. When you have issues with, digestive function, and you don't eat, yeah, of course, the body gives it a break, and it feels good while not having food to deal with. But as soon as you start to ingest food, whatever is healthy, even if it's healthy food, you start having problems because you're not addressing the root cause of the problem. In addition to that, people want to lose weight. I cannot get this message honestly across enough, and that is people really destroy their metabolic efficiency when they chronically do caloric restriction. I cannot tell you how badly they do. If you don't believe me, look at the last 20 years with the HCG diet, with all those, low calorie, forced starvation based diets. Look what happens. Look what people did even fasted. They did a juice fast or did a water fast, or might have been, they got nowhere. If anything, the weight came back with a vengeance, and then they even had a harder time doing it, even if they repeated the program again. Because when you lower your metabolic rate and metabolic function, you're gonna have problems. And one of those problems is you're not going to be able to lose weight or body fat well. And when I say people say I want to lose weight, what they're saying is they want to lose extra fat, adipose tissue. They don't want to lose muscle. Obviously, if you have excess water a little bit, sure, but that's really insignificant. You definitely don't want to lose water and get dehydrated. Again, muscle is precious. The last thing you want to lose is muscle mass. People want to lose is body fat. And when you have a suboptimally functional metabolism, you cannot lose weight properly and have problems. Okay, so what do you do? The easiest way and the most efficient and the healthiest way to fix that is to increase your metabolic rate, increase your, optimize your mitochondrial function for energy production. And that is through proper, healthy, high nutrient dense eating plan, whatever that might look like. And a lot of people have a very hard time with that. And they think, well, I'm eating too much. Nope, you got to get your metabolism up. And you'll be amazed at how the body starts to let go of body fat, build muscle, the energy goes up, you feel great, as opposed to constantly doing those yo-yo dieting, caloric restrictions, taking stupid supplements that are right down worthless, if not harmful. A lot of also people take medications. Not the latest crazy is the ridiculousness of the Ozempic and all those GLP inhibitors. It's a sad scenario, but you guys are going to see a massive fallout of that as well. I promise you that. When the proverbial nut plays its role, you're going to see the issues with those drugs with weight loss. So I've been around for a long time, and I've seen a lot of things. There's been guys that have mentored me that I've seen that some have passed, some are still alive in old age, but they have seen a lot more than I have. And the pattern and the nonsense is all the same. Everybody keeps looking for the greatest and the latest, the end all, the be all that's going to solve all your problems, and never delivers. There's never such thing and never will be such thing. So the sooner you get that to your head about weight loss, especially, the better you're going to be and the more success you're going to have faster. So anyway, again, I digress again. apologize for that, but it's a topic and questions that I constantly get asked about, and it gets tiring after a while, honestly. But we just have to keep talking about it until people get it or don't. In conclusion, basically, again, in the age of quick fixes and miracle cures and the end all be alls and magic potions and programs and supplements, drugs, you name it, it is always tempting to believe that whatever the latest and the greatest is going to provide results. It's going to purge everything out of your body. You're going to be toxic free, and you'll be good to go. It's going to change your life, and you're going to have optimal health. It's not. It doesn't work like that. However, as we've explored and we discussed, the reality of detoxification is far more complex and ongoing than any quick fix will ever, be able to address or suggest. So the truth is, our bodies are constantly engaged in detoxification process every second. Okay, whether we're asleep or awake, as long as you're sucking wind and you actually are alive physically, you're detoxifying. So it's a process that continuously going on. So with multitude of organs working in harmony to eliminate those toxins and maintain our health, is our due diligence to really do the right thing and support those organs and the process through the stuff that I discussed. Again, the liver, the kidneys, the digestive, the GI tract, the lungs, lymphatic system, and again, our brain, an organ that is really never talked about in detox, all play synergistically a crucial role in this intricate system and process of this, detoxifications. And again, remember, it is not a detoxification, cleansing, whatever you want to call it. It's not a sporadic single event that is triggered, but it's a continuous process. Understand that. And our bodies are remarkably capable of maintaining balance and eliminating toxins by themselves when given the right support. And that support ultimately is living right. That is addressing your lifestyle, addressing your stress, addressing your nutrition, and living a healthy lifestyle, which most Americans in this country do not. And that is the essential and ultimately of holistic health, basically to get educated to how to live right. Okay. Because even if you do the right things the right way and live temporarily the right way and you address your issues, eventually they're going to come back in one form or another, if not the same, because you reverted back to your old bad habits of living. So remember, that's just the reality of it. Okay. Remember, and the bottom line is this, that, detox cleansing, it's not a product, it's not a pill, it's not a program, it's not a short-term anything, but it's a commitment to consistent health promoting lifestyle habits. So by nourishing our bodies, staying active, and addressing stress, addressing sleep, getting adequate rest that we need, we will provide the foundation for optimal health. And part of optimal health will be optimal detoxification as well, which will lead us to ultimately well-being. So this sustainable approach, okay, is not only it supports our body's natural detox processes, but also will contribute again to a better health outcomes in the long run, because I believe that's what everybody wants, or at least they think they want. So the most powerful tools for supporting your body's detoxification processes, is already within you. You have it inside you, it's built in, and God made it for you. If you don't believe in God, or in Mother Nature, whatever you want to, believe, but ultimately you are created with a natural detoxification system and processes. So focus on the fundamental aspects of health, and you'll be amazed what happens and how incredible your body's ability will be to detoxify itself without any help from you. So I hope the message was received well by you guys. I really hope that I made a point here. I know I'm not the most eloquent speaker. I have an accent as well. So I really hope this will help somebody to get their act together and to understand what detoxification is and support it and, inspire you and, get you on your way to, live an optimal, healthy lifestyle to the best of your genetic abilities and your situation. Well, guys, this is it for today. I went overboard and I tried to do it under 40 minutes. It's almost 50. So I apologize for that. But until next time, I'm Dr. PND. Visit us at drpnd.com. Reach out to us with any questions. We'd like to help you any way that we can. And we'd love to hear from you. So we're here for you guys any way that we can be. God bless you. I hope you guys have a phenomenal week. See you next time.
Thank you for your valuable time and for listening to the Your Health Reclaimed podcast with Dr. PND. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and share this episode with a person you know it can help. If we can help you in any way, or you would like to connect with Dr. PND, please visit drpnd.com. That's drpnd.com.